Welcome to day 181 of the Let's Grow Annual Challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and today we're talking about relationship growth, step 6 of the growing process, as we do one thing every day to grow. Well, step 6 in our growing process is the N for never give up, never quit. I like to say never quit because give is in step 7 of our process. So we're looking at our relationship. We picked a relationship. We've been following Montana's relationship with her husband, Alex, throughout this process, applying the process, and how she applies each of one of these steps as she's going through the growing process and using it to improve her relationship with her husband. We always want to improve the primary and the key relationships in our life. At least I always do. I like to not talk in absolutes, but there's some things that are absolute. Unconditional love for my kids, things that I want to continually improve. I always want to continually improve. I always want to grow. I always want to resist or reduce, not resist. Sometimes if we resist, things persist. But I always want to reduce the negative energy that comes into our lives. I always like to kind of put a bubble around me that blocks a lot of that, because there is so much negativity in our world, and we can choose to participate in it, or we can choose to just let it bounce right off of us and go to other people, because they can handle and figure out how they're going to resist those negative messages or not. And negativity, doubt, worry, fear, anger, all the emotions we consider negative, if we're having those in our relationship, we need to deal with our reason for having those. Because when we resent somebody, when we're jealous, when we're angry, when we're frustrated, all of those things are things we choose to feel and experience. I know that's hard. Pill to swallow some days. What a day I'm having with my tongue twisters. It's hard to realize that we get to choose how we respond and react to everything. And once we do that, our life becomes a whole lot better, because we realize we have control. We can choose. We can choose another emotion. We can choose another feeling. And that will always positively impact our relationships. We get out of life, and we're talking about this tomorrow, what we put into it. And it's just the way it is. So today, let's think about our action item is to actually, I'm going to look at this because I wrote it yesterday. Share one thing that you can do to make sure that you never quit. You never give up on this particular relationship. Now, if you're like me, my relationship with my mom is one of the most important relationships in my life. And, same with my kids and my granddaughters. I'm never going to give up on those relationships, whether we're estranged, we don't see each other, or something happens to keep us apart for a while. I'm still never going to quit on that relationship. And that's why we picked, and we're talking about the relationship we most want to improve, and we're applying the growing process to, because I can assume you never want to quit or give up on this relationship. Now, I will admit, there have been relationships in my past that I never wanted to give up on. I'm divorced, so obviously I did quit and give up on and let go of. I didn't quit, I let go of a toxic relationship for me. It was toxic to me and to my kids. So I knew there are relationships, even with our primary partner, that are not healthy and not good for us. I mean, as soon as we realize that, we need to change and get out of that relationship. But otherwise, I say and again, my mom, my sisters, my children, my granddaughters, those are relationships I'm never going to quit. I'm never going to give up on. And that's why I picked one of them. And we talked about early on in applying the process, the importance of picking a primary relationship that you really want to improve and never give up on. Again, there are people and relationships that we have that can do unforgivable things, and we'll never forgive them. They're just unforgivable. They go against our core values, and we'll never forgive it. And therefore, we should not be in relationships with those people. And then there are people that we love unconditionally. And I picked my mom because I love her unconditionally. I picked my kids and my grandkids because I love them unconditionally. And that's why we're going through the growing process on such a powerful relationship in our life. There's relationships we have with people and acquaintances throughout our life that they come into our life for a season and a reason, and then they leave our life. They usually are here to show us something about ourselves or some lesson we need to learn, but they're not meant to stay in our lives. I mean, think about your first love. Chances are you're not still with your very first crush or your very first love. They come into our life to teach us and show us what is and isn't for us. And it's up to us to learn those lessons so that we're not going to repeat them. So what are some things that we could do? We could do regular check-ins, spend time, write letters, call, be empathetic, use active listening, spend quality time, resolve conflicts, have a method and a way to resolve conflicts. Because guess what? Any two humans, even those I love unconditionally, we don't always agree on everything, right? We don't always agree on a lot of things. And it doesn't matter, right? Because we each have to live our own lives and be responsible for our own lives and our own emotions, and our own thoughts and beliefs and feelings and responses to things. And we could also appreciate and be grateful for what is awesome about the relationships that we have, and then continually improve to make them better and better and more of how we want them to be. So again, our action item today is just to share one thing that you can do to make sure that you're never going to quit. You're never going to give up on your primary, or on this relationship that we're talking about today. The relationships that are core to you and the people you love unconditionally. What's one thing you can do to make sure you more? To me, all it is I make a commitment. And when I make a commitment to myself, I don't break my commitment to myself. So there are, and I share those key relationships in my life, people I love unconditionally. I'm never going to give up on those relationships. I don't care what happens, or what they do, or what they say, or what happens. I'm never going to do that. That's it. That's our topic for today. Any questions? What do? Ask, or hit me up and ask. Find me if you want to ask it in private, or comment below any one of the videos or where you see this or are hearing or listening to me, and we'll make sure you get your questions answered. All right. Have an awesome day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow for our final day and focus on relationships this month and this year. All right. Have a great day.